Hi, welcome to this Photoshop tutorial. We're going to create this brick texture from scratch using patterns, channels and lighting effects. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's minimize that. The first thing you want to do is open up a new document. This document is 50 pixels by 50 pixels, I believe. And there we go, 50 by 50 with a white background and a 72 ppi resolution. Okay, you want to create a new layer, press Ctrl A and come up to Edit, Stroke, excuse me. Okay, yeah, where was we? So you want a black stroke, 2 pixels on the inside at normal on the blending mode and 100% opacity. Okay, and that will give you the outline around the edge. It will stroke it for you. Then you want to get your line tool, which is down here, and you just choose your line tool. Weight you want to make 4 pixels, and you want to make sure that your foreground color is black. Have it on this first one here, which is the shape layer, and draw one across the center and then one across the center but only halfway vertical. So that's one across the center horizontal and a vertical one halfway just on the top brick. If you imagine that's the top brick and that's the bottom brick. Okay, once you've done that, come back down, make sure you're on layer 1, which is the stroked layer. Get your rectangular marquee tool and then just on these edges just draw out a selection and just take away these edges. So I'll demonstrate what I mean. This is doing it along the bottom, but of course you won't do it along the bottom. You only want to do the top ones. So you're going to end up with something that looks like that. Okay, then you press Ctrl A, Edit, Define Pattern, give it a name, call it brick or whatever, bricks, that'll do. Click OK, and then you can get rid of that document. Okay, now you want to open up a new document. Okay, and I'm just opening up a 500 by 500 pixels at 72 with a white background. Click OK. Okay, let's just open this up a little bit. Right, now you want to come to the channels. Create yourself a new alpha channel by clicking on the Create New Alpha Channel button at the bottom of the palette. And that'll give you a new alpha channel called Alpha 1. You can name it if you want. Okay, now press Shift F5 to get the fill dialog box, and you want to use pattern. So in this scroll down you choose pattern. You come and find the pattern, which will be at the end, and then you want a normal blending mode and 100% opacity, and click OK. That will fill that channel with that pattern. Okay, now you want to bring up the Gaussian blur. You can get there via the filter blur menu. I've just created a shortcut for it. Makes it easier. And you just want to blur them edges a little bit. So 1.6 looks okay there. And then you want to bring up levels. So Control L to bring up levels. And you want to bring in the shadows and the highlights so that you round off them bricks. So you notice these edges now, they're losing that square right angles and left angles 45-degree properties, and they're more rounded. So that's fine. Click OK. And now you want to do it again. So bring up Gaussian blur. This time blur a little bit more so the bricks start turning grey. Click OK. Now before you do anything, come up to Edit, Fade Gaussian blur. Take it down to about 80% and stick it in linear burn. And you notice what that's done, that's made it even more rounder. That'll create some depth. Okay, click OK. Activate your RGB layer channel and come back to the layers. Let's create a new layer, and then with say a 50% grey as your foreground colour, so 7F, 7E, 7E, and white as your background. Get your gradient tool and working on a linear gradient. Just start about there at the top, come down to about there, and drag down. Now I actually want that to go the other way, so I'm gonna come up like that. Okay, now we're going to come to filter, we're going to come to render and lighting effects. Now mine's already set up how I've done it before when I was doing a practice one and working out exactly what I needed to do. So the first thing you want to do is you want to choose your texture channel, which is going to be the alpha 1. So making sure you're on alpha 1, you'll then see your bricks. Now I noticed that there's something I've done wrong here. Let's come back to the channels. Let's click on that alpha 1. We need to give that a bit of noise. So let's add some noise. And 8 is fine. Just that little bit of noise is just going to add some more texture to them bricks in that lighting and effects box. So come back to the layers, back up, filter, render, lighting effects. And you won't be able to see it there, but that noise has actually added some texture to that brick. You want to choose a nice ready color. So I've chosen this one, which is D53E0A. Click OK. And then these settings here should work relatively okay. So then just click OK. And voila, you have your brick texture. Now we're going to do a couple more things because the mortar in between the dots and the dashes, we want to change the colour of that and have like a deep grey colour to it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the channels, we're going to load the alpha 1 channel as a selection, so hold down control and click on it, come back to the layers, and then we want to, making sure we're on that brick layer, I want to press Control J, and that will put all them bricks onto a new layer. Now come back to layer 1, press Control U to bring up your hue saturation dialog box, and basically just desaturate the layer 1 so that, as you can see, it's changing all that mortar to this grey colour, and you can take the lightness up or down. I'm quite happy to just leave it at 0. Click OK, and what we've actually done there is we've actually desaturated that whole layer, but because we've got this layer 2, which are the bricks that we selected and copied to its own layer, it's allowing us just to see the in-betweens of them bricks. Okay, now what do we want to do? We can give this a little drop shadow. So let's come up here, and the light source should be about right at default, coming from that direction. If you look at the angle of the light there, take the distance down to about 2. About there would be fine. Click OK. We can also add a mask to that layer, and you can get a paintbrush and just choose a nice one of the splatter brushes. Is good for most things, and just use your bracket keys just to bring the size down, painting in black, and you can just erase some of the bricks just to give them that corroded old look. I'll do a few there. You can kind of see what's happening, and you can also get your burn tool and making sure you're on the actual brick and not the mask. Start burning some of this brick out to give it some difference in colour, make it look a bit more older and used. Anyway, I'll leave all that stuff up to you. That's how you can create a brick texture from scratch. Thanks for watching.